Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. A lot of people have been requesting my deck list for the regional that I just attended, so here it is. My voice cracked there, oh my gosh. I came 15th place at the Core TCG Regionals BT15 format on April the 6th. Going X1 in a 7-round event. Unfortunately, it was 7 rounds. If it was 8 rounds, probably could have got top 8, but and we got 15th place. We got our nationals invite, and I did it with my custom Marcus vaccine deck list, which I'm going to show you today. I like the deck. You know, I've probably put 100 matches in this deck in testing. I just really, really, really like it. And it's a really good deck with access to outs for everything in the format. Yellow is a really big combo deck now. Yeah, it's a little bit of healing and whatever, and all people don't like that, but it is combo, and you do have to think about it a little bit. You can't just willy-nilly do your stuff, which I really like. It sort of kind of feels like a Yu-Gi-Oh deck because you're putting up these big board negates, which is like Venusmon and Ruin Mode kind of, and you know you're just going through the game like that. So it's really cool, and I really enjoy it. I do want to give shoutouts to anyone that helped me test this deck. If whether it's my IRL local group or the people online who had to get Venusmon by this deck over and over again, thank you for letting me do that to you so that we could get here today. But yeah, I'm going to go in the deck. I'm going to go into a couple of the changes that were there. And yeah, if you guys like this, please like, comment, subscribe. Turn on notification bell and smash potatoes. That way you know when all my Digimon videos go live. It's been a while since I've done a deck profile. It's been a while. But I don't know. Here we go. All right. Let's start with the eggs, which are over here. The eggs. Oh, and by the way, you'll notice this whole deck is max rarity. It's so nice. It's nice. It's nice. So we play 5 eggs, 4 Tokomon, and a Kiaramon. At one point, I was testing the yellow BT12, I think it is, Koromon, just to have like an Agumon egg, basically. But I found that the Koromon just didn't do anything at all. I'd rather have the draw power. So I eventually landed on Tokomon, and boy, am I glad I did, because during the course of the tournament, I drew a lot of cards, and like I would draw a card that's like, wow, this card I drew instantly solved all my problems. That's crazy. So Tokomon is really powerful, and then the one of Kiaramon is the 5th egg, just to give us some jamming, which does come up sometimes. Jamming is really powerful. So yeah, 5 eggs, it's fine. I would not change the egg line anymore. Koromon was a really good test, but you don't need it anymore. On to rookies, 4 copies of Patamon. Obviously, we're playing Patamon. Your start and main phase, you look in your security, you evolve into a champion there, that's a vaccine. And then you heal a vaccine card, which allows you to get the inheritable your turn to return, you gain a memory if something goes to your security stack. So it's like an evolution from your security that actually gets you a memory. It's just really freaking strong. It's really good. You play 4 copies of it. Then we're playing 3 copies of BT13 Agumon. This Agumon simply just says one of your Marcuses turns into a Digimon if you want. That's all it does. Also has a cool inheritable that pops something 3000 DP or less when you suspend a tamer. I actually didn't use this effect the entirety of the regionals. I used just the main effect of Agumon a lot. I would just hard drop an Agumon, turn a Marcus into a Digimon, and do things with it. That's essentially what the card is there for. It can be used as a Marcus for game, or other cool strategies, which we'll talk about in a second. But yeah, Agumon is really good. And lastly, 3 copies of Pillowmon. It's just a floodgate that says players can't play Digimon by effects. It's there. It's good against the meta. I played against a couple Lugumon players, a couple Numemon players, and a Lugumon player during the regional. And like Pillowmon was really good against those decks, so I'm happy that I dedicated space to it. Now, a rookie that I was playing in this deck was EX4 Agumon. Your starter main phase gain memory if you have a tamer. However, I cut it for more copies of Pillowmon because I felt like I really needed the floodgate. Like, Agumon is cool, but you don't really need it. I would rather just tell my opponents that they can't play the game. And it worked. It was a good deck building philosophy. So I'm glad that I cut it. And there was no issues because this Agumon is just the really good Agumon. It's the one that actually lets you go for game or, whatever, get you to the next stage in your game. And then The other one didn't really do that. But at least this one here, it's a floodgate. Floodgates are good. We like floodgates. They're fun. All right, on to champions. 2 copies of Starter Deck 17 rapidmon. This card was a very good inclusion, and I recommend that you guys try it out. It does cost 4 to evolve, but if you're evolving with Patamon, it's free. Or if you're evolving with Emissary, it costs 1. So it's not really a big deal. It's got Blocker and Armor Purge, and has an alt turns effect that says when it's suspended, something on your opponent's side of the field gets 4,000 DP minus to the end of the turn, and your opponent's security Digimon also get 4,000 DP minus to the end of the turn. So like it softens up your opponent's security, which is really, really helpful, especially when you're swinging with like aces. It's really cool. And then it also can just pop something. Or weaken something and you pop with another card. It's pretty good. All turns, while suspended, the Digimon gets 1,000 DP. That's fine. Turns your Venusmon to a 13k body. It's pretty good. Can't really complain about it. Alright, I do recommend trying it though, because this is really good at just random spot removal. And it's a blocker, so it forces your opponent to kind of deal with it, which is important. It did serve a good... It was good. It did win some games in a sense, which is good. Then we played 2 copies of BT8 rapidmon. This rapidmon here actually just breaks boards. Suspend something for every tamer you have, then 3 Digimon get minus 5,000 DP. It's a board breaking card. You bring it up on wide boards and you knock them down a little bit. That's what you do. If you can't get to Ruin mode, this is like a mini Ruin mode, and it's a really good card to have. So, yeah, 2 copies of it is fine. Don't need more than that. It's not a rapidmon deck, but yeah, definitely recommend it. The card's really good. Then we have 2 copies of Andromon from BT15. It's a very, very good card. On deletion, you place it at the bottom of your security stack and then hatch an egg if you have a TK, which you usually do. See, what's really important about that is that it's always in security, so it always allows you to toolbox it. If you do evolve it, though, it has an inherit that says play a yellow card vaccine trait from the hand at the bottom of the security stack. That does come up very occasionally. Sometimes you have to evolve your Andromon up to play the game. That's okay. But usually, Andromon's just a good throwaway that you can bring back with Patamon later on when you need to. It's very nice. But that's not even the best part of the card. It's got a when attacking effect. By deleting this Digimon, activate one of the effects below when attacking. Place one of your opponent's Digimon with the virus trait at the bottom of the security stack, or one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 5,000 DP for the turn. The minus 5,000 DP did happen like a few times, and the virus thing did happen a few times. Numemon plays a lot of virus cards that you can just put to the bottom of their security stack. Call it a day. Random virus threats can get you in this format. I'll give you a really good example of this. Machine Dramon EX1 or Chaos Dramon X Body. Those are cards that can really get you. Or like Black War Grey X with protection. You know, those are cards that can really get you this format, this deck, if you're not careful. So playing the 2 Andromons just as like a way to out them if they come up is really good. You know, it's not so much that you have to worry about those matchups, but because you're playing the Andromons, you don't have to worry about those matchups. It makes those matchups essentially free, which is good. We like free matchups when they come up. And that's the whole kind of gimmick of this deck. There's a lot of cards in this deck. There's a lot of different cards in this deck. And like every card has a purpose to handle multiple matchups or a particular matchup. And it's just really good at doing that because your whole deck's a toolbox. Your security is a toolbox. And you're playing cards and you're doing things. So yeah, 2 Andromon is really, 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 really good. Then we're on 2 hybrids because hybrid for game does come up and hybrid for game is really good. There was a couple times where I actually had to like evolve this on a rookie to play the game, but that happens sometimes. That's okay. Patamon turning into Zephyrmon and having to evolve 3 to do it really sucks. But if you got to win the game, that's how you do it sometimes. So 2 hybrids is good. They're not vaccines, unfortunately. Otherwise, and then finally, 1 copy of BT13 Geogray. This card's at 1, so we can only play 1 of it. It's the when Digivolving search your security stack for a tamer and play it, then recover 1. It's an incredibly powerful card, and you gotta play the 1 copy. You have to. Now we're moving on to Ultimates. We're playing 3 copies of Magna Andromon Ace. I find that I've been debating often between Magna Ace and Andromon Ace in this deck, and in this particular deck, in this Marcus Vaccine deck, Magna Andromon Ace is a lot better. Magna Andromon Ace actually saved me a few times where Andromon Ace could not save you because Magna Andromon Ace just always heals. If you have 0 security, Andromon Ace actually does nothing. But there were a couple times during the tournament where Andromon Ace actually healed me to a security, and then I was able to kind of work and do things and stay alive. So Andromon Ace is really powerful in that sense. When you play it or evolve it, you heal if you don't have 6 already, and then you do 1,000 DP damage for every security you have. So it's a very powerful effect, and it costs 4 to play as well. Many times I would hard play Magnandromon evolving the Venusmon. It's just really freaking good. So 3 copies of it is fine. You'll see what the 4th copy of this card is in a second. Moving along though, we're playing 2 copies of BT2 Rise Greymon. This Rise Greymon here, when the Dwelling puts a tamer from your hand, on play doesn't activate, that's okay. It's there for the inheritable. If you have 3 or more security, you get sec plus. If you have 3 or more tamers on the board, you get sec +1. It's also a Greymon, which matters because, well Marcus, hello. So it's a really good Greymon card that lets you help outrace decks that are fast, because it gives you that extra security, right? You can do a lot of damage with Rise Greymon, which is really, really needed to race against your opponent, and the 2 copies really came in clutch yesterday. So it's really good. Then we're on 1 copy of BT13 Rise Greymon. This guy just evolves and plays on Marcus for free. The on-play does activate, that's fine. The inheritable and the other effect is really good though. Once per turn, if one of your Marcuses would die, it goes to your security instead of the trash. So like that's really good because you can swing in with your Marcuses safely and know that they're healed. And healing is good because you trigger a lot of effects by healing cards sometimes. Plus building up your security just makes it really, really hard for your opponent to win the game. There were times yesterday where I had like 7 security, 8 security by the time I finished winning the game. Like, they're not winning the game. And a card like this does help that sometimes. Plus, it's a Greymon card. So yeah, 1 copy is fine. And the last ultimate, instead of the 4th Magna Andromon Ace, I am still on 1 copy of Andromon Ace. This card is good. This card can do something that Magna Andromon can't do. It's always a guaranteed 6,000 DP. When you play or evolve it, you trash or security top or bottom, do 6,000 DP damage or something. Yeah, there were times where if this card was a Magna Ace, I would have been in trouble. I think there was 2 times exactly. But the fact that I had it is really, really good. Also, all turns once per turn. If you take damage while you have a 3 or less security, you heal a security. That effect actually never came up yesterday. Didn't come up at all. Not one bit. I very often would just play the ace or evolve the ace and evolve over it. So like Andromon Ace never came up, but I did need to do 6,000 DP damage at one point. So it's good. Good card. Glad we played the 1 copy of it. Now on to Megas. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Let me tell you something. This card probably shouldn't exist. This card is really good. As a win Digivolving effect that says all your opponent's Digimon gain security attack -1 till the end of either opponent's turn. It's a global effect, which means anything that enters the board even after the fact does get that minus security. And then even better, while this card's on the board, during your opponent's turn, this Digimon can't be attacked. As well, anything with a 1 attacking or Digivolving can't activate if it has a security attack modifier, which is really good. This card makes so many matchups easier. It's good against Red Hybrid. It's good against Lugamon. It's good against Leviamon. It's good against Numamon. It's good against, unfortunately, Mirage Galgamon. Shout out to the Mirage Galgamon player I played round 4. It's just really good. Now, every deck has outs to it, right? Lugamon can Helluga. Numamon can Monze X combo it. Leviamon can just on-play Leviamon it. Like, it's not perfect, but it does force your opponent to do things they don't want to do. Like, it just tells your opponent they can't win for a turn, which is really good. I like it when my opponents can't win for a turn. Venus locking was a common thing all throughout the tournament. It's one of the reasons why I wanted to play this deck, and Venusmon is just a fantastic card. Then we played 1 copy of Kentaurismon. This is a card that I've been teching for, I'd say, the last 3 weeks or so. It's 5 to evolve. It has an on-player and a drawing effect. If there are 6 or fewer cards in both player security, you gain 3 memory. Then you reveal a yellow card in your hand, put it on top of security. So it does heal you, which is nice, and it does effectively become a 2-cost evolution if you're doing it, which is nice. When attacking once per turn by charging the top card of your security stack, You unsuspend this Digimon, and then something gets minus 7,000 DP for the turn. Um, Real disclosure, I only used this card 3 times. I used it once against a War Greymon player round 6 to effectively win game 1. And then I used it twice against my round 7 Numemon opponent. Round 7, game 1, turn 2, I had Rise Greymon with Kentorismon. And yeah, it was a free evolution basically. So I didn't gain the memory back or whatever, but I did do 4 checks right away. Because you don't need to be at 6 security or fewer to, attack twice with this. And Rise Greymon makes it really good. And 13k DP, like it's just really strong. So yeah. And then game 3 against Numemon, I actually had to use it to clear board. I didn't even use it to like attack with it. It was just there as the finishing piece, the 7,000 DP to close a board out. So like, this card was dead for the first 5 rounds, but then it came up the last couple rounds, and I'm glad that it was there because it did things that Venusmon just couldn't do. So I do think try the Kentorismon out. I think you won't regret it, honestly. And then lastly, 2 copies of Shine Greymon Ruin Mode. This deck, right? The whole point of this deck, when I designed this deck, I want to turn my Venusmons into Ruin Modes to keep them from playing the game. And that was it. Ideally, I would try to Ruin Mode, evolve it, and swing with it in the same turn, because that way you get the 5,000 DP from when Digivolving and the 5,000 DP on deletion as well. So it's a minus 10 spread global that your opponent just can't, no one can play through that. And then it has the end of attack delete itself to heal and pop something and hatch. And it's a very, 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 very strong top end card for yellow. And going between Venus and Ruin, Venus and Venus and Ruin, it just tells the opponent they can't play the game. There were a lot of matches yesterday where my opponents could not play the game. That's just how the deck works. It's how the deck works. On to Tamers. 4 copies of Memory Tamer, or not Memory Tamer, 4 copies of BT15 TK. This is your yellow vaccine staple tamer. You play it, you take the top card security to your hand, you recover a vaccine card. Hopefully it's a level 4 so that Patamon can evolve into it. Or put in whatever you want so that you can emissary with it. It's really good. And then once per turn, you can suspend it to gain memory if you heal. It's a really good card. Very good card. 2 copies of Memory Tamer TK. Memory Tamer TK is good because it's a Memory Tamer and just fishing through anything you want through security, whether it be emissary or a trainer or a tamer or training or any Digimon. It's just really good. So 2K is good. Now, we did play the one of Marcus just as a Memory Tamer as well. And when you play, do these 3,000 damage or something if you have Agumon Greymon to spend gain memory. Plus, you can attack with it with the Agumon again, and then it's just fine. It does some cute little things, but that's not the main Marcus of the deck. This is the main Marcus of the deck. I would like to say that 90% of the time, the only reason you're using this card is you're going to swing, you have a Venusmon on board, and you're using Marcus to evolve Venusmon into a Ruin for free. Yes, it can do that. Your turn, when this Tamer becomes suspended, one of your Digimon may Digivolve into a yellow card with Greymon in its name in your hand without paying the cost. It doesn't have to be a Greymon card to evolve. It just has to evolve into a Greymon card. And yeah, occasionally you might use it to like evolve your champion into a Rise Grey or something, but it is really there to, you do a Venusmon for a turn. Next turn, you make Marcus a Digimon through an Agumon, and then you use it to swing, evolve Venus into Ruin mode, and it's free, so then Ruin mode swings, and then it kills itself, and then it's a minus 10 spread. If you're looking for a cookie cutter way to play that deck, this deck, that's the cookie cutter. That's the cutting of the cookies. That's how it works. Marcus is incredible. Let's go into Ruin mode for free. It's insane. All right, last cards, options. 4 copies of Emissary for Hope. You heal. You take a card from your security, you evolve into it. A legal vaccine requirement. You can't go from 3 to 6, but you can evolve a 5 to a 6 or whatever. And then if you do, and if you have TK on board, recover 1. And then the security effect, play a Patamon from your hand of trash and add to your hand. Card's fine. That's good. Then we're playing 3 copies of Physical Training. I was playing 4, but I did cut the 3rd one for 1 copy of Reinforcing Memory Boost. I don't know why I wasn't playing this card at one point in time, but it is very powerful, and it just gets you a lot of memory sometimes when you need it. And a heals card. Really good. All right. That's it. I came 15th place with this deck. I secured my Nationals invite with Marcus Yellow Vaccine. It's a deck that I really don't see anyone play. Because it's not very popular, honestly, right? It's just me playing it, I think, in North America. I don't know a second person in North America actually playing this deck. But now there might be more people playing this deck. So, the most skilled person will win the game with this deck. But if you do just want a Venusmon Rimon lock, this is the deck for you. It is. And it's really good against the meta. It's really good against the meta. I think I proved that. The only deck I lost to was Yellow Hybrid, funnily enough. And that's not even one of the main meta decks. I didn't test against Yellow Hybrid. I tested against everything else, and I won everything else, which is fine. But yeah, that'll do it for today's video. Let me know what you guys think about the deck. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Bye.